And we are live. Hello, Sima. Welcome to Holistic Conversation. And I'm very happy to welcome you today for our Valentine's Day special. I mean, I never thought of this brilliant thing that we can celebrate love in a very universal way. And I would like to thank you for showing up in my life.
Mutual, likewise.
And I'm really looking forward to listen to your experience and learn and to know about your experience. And I would like to uh, hand it over to you to learn about you, to know about you. How about we start with getting to know you a little bit?
Thanks, Mamina. It was so nice to have met you through our compassionate inquiry mutual journey,
Absolutely, yes.
which has been, I would say, a life changer. It's been a wonderful journey. I'm I was in the my 1 year training is finishing this month, so just 1 more week.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So, um, who am I? First and foremost, I'm a mother,
Wow.
and I'm a mother to two wonderful kids. I am child protection specialist. I am a parent coach. I'm a psychologist. I'm a child rights advocate, activist. What else? I'm a human being who is learning to love herself and love others and be in the journey to be a better person.
What a beautiful thing. I mean, I was just, as you were sharing about your experience, I was just it just felt like the flower is just blooming, and I'm counting the petals. Mother, this, that. Okay, okay.
And of course, being a daughter, a wife, a professional, so many hats like we all do.
Yeah. That's very right. And I'm a little bit scared.
Why?
When it comes to rules and regulations, I'm not a very real rule person. I have mostly broken rules.
Me too, it's okay. Rules are meant to
Okay.
be broken. Okay, don't quote me for that.
I feel better now. uh, yeah, I mean, it's good to know that you are in such a responsible position. And how about we learn something about your experience, and uh, how did you arrive at this uh, profession, or this path? How it happened? Let's just
Okay. Well, I will start with actually working with and for children has been my lifelong dream. I think even when I was around, I don't know, 15, 16, I knew I wanted to study psychology. I knew I wanted to work for UNICEF. I knew I wanted to work in different countries. And I knew I wanted to work towards making it a little bit better for children in this world. Of course, at those ages, I had more majestic dreams in terms of I can change the world and I can do everything. And as age, I think we all come to accept that it's not so important that we change the world, but it's so important that we play our own contribution to whatever we believe. And if we all do that, we can actually make it a little bit better for everyone.
That's very true.
So I think that was my dream. So how I came to do what I do now, which is skipping the 23 some years I worked in UNICEF. Currently, I'm working more as a individual consultant, individual counselor, coach, to help individuals and parents to actually love and accept themselves first and foremost, and to love and accept their children more. And of course, I mean all children. At the same time, there are some children, some families find it a little bit harder to love, which could be the children who are, well, LGBTI or queer. And I think that's why you invited me here today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
So I'm currently at the advisory board of a NGO called the European Network of Parents of LGBTI persons. And my individual journey has been, as I said, working on child protection, child rights, and working for and with children and parents. And when my child came out to me 4 years ago, then I said, I have been working in my life for making it a little bit better for all children. And of course, it's a logical continuation to work towards making the life better for my own child and other children who are in a similar situation.
Yeah. Yeah. And how you felt about it? What was your feeling?
Um, As I said initially, it was a very, it was coming from a place of acceptance, um, because to me, it's not so important who you are, who you love. It's more important that in essence, you you do good things, and you use your logic, you use your consciousness, and you're in line with yourself, and you're true to yourself. So from that perspective where I started from, I was in total acceptance. uh, Having said that, it wasn't so easy to also see the struggles of my child and what he's going through, and all the ups and downs and self doubts and questionings to find his own essence. And as a mother, as a professional who has been focusing on children, I also questioned myself at times. Am I holding space correctly? What am I doing? What can I do more? And I think in the journey, we have been really blessed. All our family and close people have accepted. They love us, they love my child, which to me is really making life so much easier. But at the same time, it's not easy to know that you have given birth to a child with about whom you have so many ideas, maybe beliefs, maybe dreams, maybe expectations, and to learn that maybe it's not that, and it brought me to full acceptance about what it means to be a mother. And that's why I started with saying I'm foremost a mother in learning, because what I realized, which I knew maybe at the heart level, not at the mind level, but what I learned to embody and learn at my heart level is it's really being there without any judgment, without any preconception, because we do bring our children to this world, but their own individual human beings. And the most we can do is to really love them unconditionally, and to love ourselves in the process unconditionally, and to really learn and be open to learning with an open mind.
Beautiful. I loved how you said like uh, learning. I am now understanding from your experiences, like when you start to learn something that bridges the gap, because there's logic, and you can balance your emotions, because that's a fact. That's a fact. And it's true, it's authentic, it's the present, you know. So this learning about a thing and knowing about a thing can help us accept, like you very well said, like as a mother it helped you to accept more. And I loved it, I loved it. And also I would like to say that when you were saying like you were working with children and the parents, but when you knew that it's happening in your life, so I think that that experience was kind of a background which was already aligned with your essence, you know, like to accept people. The acceptance was already started to work. It was already like happening, like you were seeing things happen, and people accepting. So is that something like which helped you, like in the process, when you experienced other people accepting, that helped you as well?
I think initially I started with my own acceptance because this is something that I didn't go and start sharing with everyone. It was something that was between me and my child and my husband. Um, of course, it definitely helped as we gradually started to open up to others around us, to family and friends. I think it did help to have them accept. Yet at times I did, and I am receiving lots of questions about, isn't he too young? Are you sure? How is it? Um, and then that's the point where it's really super important to be grounded and to have done your research, to know uh, how to help children to be themselves without having an agenda as parents or as professionals or as others. I think when these questions come from people who are very close to you, it's harder uh, because then emotions, which we all have, come in the way as well. At the same time, for me, this has been a big learning process to say, well, you know, of course, I love my child. And for me, what's important is that he grows up to be a healthy and good person. Um, and having worked in the area of child protection and having studied psychology and human development and family studies, I also, and having worked on child rights advocacy, I do know that you have to have your information clear to make a point to others. Um, Speaking from the heart is so important and it helps. At the same time, to know the impact of non acceptance is also very humbling. You know, there unfortunately, currently or in our world, there is more and more homophobia, transphobia that's arising in many parts of the world. There's a research that was done in 2015, actually. It's the US Transgender Survey that says that people who went through or who were forced to have basically who are referred to a professional who tries to talk them out of being transgender, for example, around 47% more
You're
um,
frozen.
almost two times more likely um, to live homeless. Um, yeah, so uh, and that's why it's very important to know what is what, and also to explain it to others who might not be aware of these.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. So knowledge is very important, as you rightly said. Like when you are opening up, and the non-acceptance is hard but humbling, because they are in their authentic space and they are not able to accept, and to understand that non-acceptance is also kind of compassion. Like all you can do is help yourself. So that comes to me. And I also realized, like how important it becomes as parents, as responsible uh, uh, parent figures or caregivers, or anybody who is with the child, uh, to they, when they accept the child, it means a lot to the child. uh, I mean, it can just be very uh, safe for the child, to be what they are, who they are.
Exactly, exactly. One of my friends who has a transgender girl, she said that when her child was around 2, 3 years old, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, something very young, the child started saying, "Well, I'm a girl," and she was saying, "Well, you're not. You're a boy. You have a penis, and girls don't have a penis, and you have a, like." She was in her own words explaining, and she says one night the child slept, and the next morning he said, "Mom, when can we cut this off? It doesn't really belong to me." And when people say, when a child who is 13, 14 says he is transgender, I give this example. How can you say it's Netflix or it's social media or it's any propaganda who affects children? Because, even before the times of social media, these people existed. It's just um, we are so inclined to see the world in duality. Yes, maybe at one point there is good and bad, there is light and darkness, there is males, females, yes, but not everything is such duality. There is so much in between, or maybe a spectrum. And what I'm more and more thinking and maybe going through is, even in the world, how do we manifest ourselves? Why do we other the other? Like there's a tendency for human beings to say, okay, this is my group, this is my reality, and whoever is not within what I know to be correct are incorrect. And it's at those moments, maybe to remind us, we need to stay with the other person and stay engaged, especially in those moments, because we have our shared humanity. We share this world, which is the only place so far that we know. And
That's right.
that includes people with different gender orientation, sexual orientation, gender identity, races, religions, nationality, whatever you name it. Can we come from a place of love and compassion, even for those that we don't understand and we don't believe in what they're saying? Do we need to see it a threat, or can we stay engaged and really, from a place of compassion and curiosity, understand? It doesn't mean you accept, it doesn't mean you agree, but to understand.
Yeah.
And I think that's the meaning of love, to tie up to our discussion today for this week.
Absolutely. Excuse me. As you said, to see with the right eye, and what is the right eye? I mean, as you said, like no propaganda, no social media, no influence, no force, but child centered or a human centered, they are born as they are. And do we have any role in that? Can we control that, or can we contribute to that? We cannot as human beings, we cannot. But only science and technology has taken up the role when a human being decides or chooses about their self, if they want to change or go ahead with what they're choosing for themselves. Then comes the role of science or doctors or medical science or whatever. But to see them as they are is the basic thing that we can do as human beings. And that's pretty challenging. That is very, very challenging. For me, I want to share my experience. When I was working in preschool, uh, we celebrated Valentine's Day, and then we were making cards in school, like for parents or friends or anybody. So there was this girl, and she said, like, why should I only do for mommy? I want to do one for mama. I said, okay, let's do it. Then she kept on talking about her mama. She said, my mom and my mama, my mom and my mama. So when she was doing the card, she was like, my mama likes this color, my mama likes this shape, can we put some hearts in it, can we put some glitters in it? I was like, okay, it's wonderful that she knows what she wants. And I was totally engaged with her. And then when she I loved her company so much. She was just 4 years old, you know I was so engaged with her, and I loved her company so much. And during the break time, I asked another teacher, like, she was talking about mom and mama. I mean, what does that really mean? Because until then I had no experience with the same gender couple. I had no experience, so I didn't know what she was talking about. Maybe her mom and her grandma or something like that. So when I asked the other teacher, she said, like, no, she has parents of the same gender. I'm like, wow, that's great. I mean, how my values shattered, how my values shattered in a very understanding and humble way. There was no force. There was no force. Uh, and I really expressed my interest in meeting them in person. Like, so I asked the teacher, can I meet them when they come to pick her up? So she said, yeah, why not? Can you I asked her, can you introduce me to her parents? She said, yeah, I can do that. And then I talked to them when they came, and it was so nice talking to them. Like, that just opened my eye in a very, very different way. Like, yeah, it's love. It's love. Why are we so fixated on the gender love? Like, the why is that so? Like, I mean, uh, the way I understood this thing will always stay with me, because this is no theory, this is no book. I did not read any book to understand. This was my personal experience. And there was no hatred in learning that relationship, learning about that relationship. So the way I learned is always going to be with me whenever I see anybody with the same gender or same gender couple, or they are living together or whatever, family or parents or whatever. So I'm really grateful that the process that I learned, it was so natural. And so there was no judgment precondition, because I didn't know about that. Maybe if I had known, I would have had some judgment coming from a different background. But this experience totally blew my mind, and like, I'm like, okay, love is love. That's it.
Exactly, exactly. It's it's on a totally different topic. Well, maybe not, but when you talked about love is love, and from personal experience of being the teacher, kindergarten teacher, preschool teacher of this little child, we lived in Zimbabwe for a couple of years, and well, my child is my color, which I don't really consider to be really white. Um, but then for some people, it's not black either. Well, what is white and black anyway? But having, well, for a moment, what I want to say is two of the best friends of my child were Zimbabwean and Zambian kids. And one day they were like 5 years old, the three little boys sitting and talking, and my little one saying, "I'm black." And they're like, "No, you're not black." It's like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm black." And then they said, "Okay, you're half black. It's fine. We accept you." I mean, for little kids, the acceptance is there. What
Yeah,
matters? What is your skin color? What matters whether your parents are of the same gender? What matters who you love? We're all humans at the end of the day.
that's true.
And to
That's
me, having lived in so many countries, having worked in so many countries as well, not only I visited many more. But what I came to realize is our essence are all the same.
yeah.
It doesn't really matter from where we are. Our essence are the same, and we can all choose to focus on being curious and compassionate and understanding. And we can choose not to be. We can choose not to understand others. But if we choose to understand and be engaged, we can overcome and be more loving people in general.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Like I'm saying, my experience, the way I learned about this thing, I loved, I loved learning about this relationship, and I never judged, and I could accept then and there, and it was so natural to me, so human. It was a basic human experience, yes, that is their choice. That is their choice. And how does that matter? Who am I? Who am I to speak? Even if I speak, how does that matter? How does that matter?
Exactly.
So
And it also brought another incident in mind. My child decided to come out at school this year using his chosen name. And there's a wonderful organization where I live in Switzerland, in Geneva. And the social worker from there went to the school and talked and explained. And apparently, one of the teachers afterwards came and congratulated my child for being so courageous to come out. And my child was saying, "Why is she congratulating me? I'm just being who I am. There's nothing to congratulate about this." And it's so true. I know the teacher was inspired, and the teacher really, maybe it was an opening for her to see this. But from the other perspective, he's just being himself. And in a world where we make it unsafe for people to be themselves, to see it courageous to tell your true self, to tell your authentic self, it's so sad.
yeah, that's true. That's true. So it is always about the other person, how you are experiencing, or how much open you are to the experience that is in front of you. Uh, but again, I will say, like, it's different for everybody. uh, some can accept, and some cannot, even if they are saying no and they are being authentic. That's fine. but we have some people who are accepting and working with them. For example, you, Sima. Yes, you are an example and you are an inspiration because you are making them feel safe and they can be who they are.
Last year I was in Malta for the Euro Pride. I was invited by ENP, but the member organization of ENP, Drahma. And there we did take part in the Pride March parade. And I had a homemade little sign about free hugs from a proud parent. And really, in that walk, I had tears in my eyes because I was just walking with this little
Bored.
slogan board. There were literally young people running from my back, from the side, hugging me and saying, "We wish our parents were like this." And I was saying, why not? Of course, I didn't say it to them, but why not? Is it so hard to love your child? It's not even a choice. And then I had one child, one young woman who came and hugged me and said, it's so nice to see like a mother of color to also be there and to be representing their child and to stand for their child. And I really do wish we could all be there for our children, and whoever is not really seeing the beauty of our children can stop and question what scares them, why they think it's such a threat to their existence, because it's not. It's only such a small percentage of society,
That's
and they
true.
don't pose a threat. They just want to be, not even be courageous, they just want to be themselves.
That's true. That's very true. It's so challenging when it comes to like. Of course, now it's getting better as we are learning and as we are knowing about the fact and about respecting their own identity. But again, I feel like it's like it has to start from the, like, for me, my values shattered, and I felt bad that until this experience happened with me, like, uh, wow, I felt like, wow, that was so easy. Like, it was not a big leap, you know. It's not like the wall is so high that I cannot see or jump. Everything is happening in front of me, and I see, I feel, I talk, and I experience, and I get it. So uh, at an individual level, I would like to share, like, now that I am working with children and parents, and I think this path has more exposure to all these things, and learning and knowing and accepting becomes easy because you have to physically face them, and uh, uh, this is just the starting point of that happening, because when we are adult, that's a different experience, but when I am dealing with the child and the parents, it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning of that thing, and we can all work towards acceptance. We can all work towards acceptance in a very early stage, so that it doesn't escalate, or uh, it is not going in a very negative way. The child is feeling safe until the child is conscious of who he is, or he wants to be. He already knows that the world around him or her or them is safe.
Exactly. Exactly. It's these little moments of human connection that we can understand. Even though you did say it's becoming more visible and we do have more acceptance, while this is true, there's also another reality where more and more countries and politicians see it as a threat and pass laws to really prevent parents even to support their children, and there are times or places where there's an increase of hate crimes, especially against trans people. And that's why I'm just questioning what scares people so much of such a small population to be seen as a threat. And I did hear of cases of parents who cannot openly support their children in some parts of US, for example, for fear of being taken to court. And it's so sad.
Yes, that is true. Like there are so many systems that is working with the human life and interfering the authenticity, questioning the authenticity, because maybe they think that they can make something out of it. You know. Uh, Of course, here comes the role of politics and whatever other things, which is not a very human act, which is not a human act in a authentic way. Like I don't know, it's complicated. It's like what can you do to stop it? What can you do?
Yeah, what can we do? Very good question. What can we do? I think it comes to what you said about maybe for us as parents, and like for me, what I'm doing is to share my story, to be there, to talk about it, to learn, to understand, to also know the science, because I think I'm one of these people who also uses, like, I stay in my brain a lot. So yes, from the heart I love, but at the same time, while I share my story, to also know the science, the impact of non-acceptance, and also to be there to talk, and to talk from the heart. It's not really about having any agenda. It's not about trying to convince people. It's just about being there and showing that it's possible to have a family which is loving and accepting, to show that this is the essence of family. It's not to have a family where the child is pushed away from the home or pushed to be someone they're not. It's really being there together for the true sense of the word. So, what can we do? You know, I also would like to hear your opinions of what you think should be done or can be done. For
Yeah,
me, it's really being there, visible, to talk from the heart, and to share the stories of love.
absolutely, absolutely. Like uh, let them speak for themselves. Let them speak. Let them be themselves in front of us. Let us see them being. And
Exactly.
yeah, and I think that's the best we can do as adults. Like somewhere in school, uh, in educational institutions, or like with the counselors, or with the friends or peers. Everybody has a role to play. I would say it's not like the person alone. Everybody has a role, and everybody has an important role to play.
Yeah, I would even add, let us hear,
Yeah,
let us listen, let
yeah,
us be there, because it's just, as I said, our shared humanity of showing our different colors, to be ourselves, to see beyond the labels, so to speak.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Like, for example, we have this thing in mind that we are adults, you know. Hmm. If we don't listen, it's okay. I mean, but if we listen, that's also okay.
And maybe more okay.
More okay.
There's my judgment.
No, that's very true. Like, for me as a mother, I would say, like, if my son has to say something, I'm totally sitting there with him and listening to what he has to say. And I totally make a point that I'm just listening to him. I'm not interfering. I'm not throwing my ideas. I'm not judging him. Uh, I am rather listening to him. Okay, let me listen, and then we can talk. Let me first listen. You know, that's what I follow at home. Like, whenever he's saying something, okay, let me listen. First, let me listen. As an adult, what I can do is first listen.
Beautiful.
That's what I feel. My responsibility is, okay. We can argue, we can disagree, but first I have to listen. First, I have to listen. And whenever he is good at so many things. I mean, I cannot ignore that he is just 18 years old, and what he knows and what he doesn't. I mean, he is good at so many things. Like, when I'm doing my website or whatever, he is helping me. I go to him and I say, please, let's have some time. Can you have some time for me? We can sit and do this together. You can teach me, because you are better than me. I don't know this so much as you do. So I know that I need help from him, and I respect his knowledge, you know. I respect his knowledge, so that we can share some time together. It's okay if he laughs at me. I'm okay with it, but the fact is, I don't know. I have to accept
This new generation, they're so much better with
that.
everything technological.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's very good at all these things, and I'm not. I'm still learning. So I don't feel bad to ask help, you know, like, because I know he's better than me. So that makes me more. I can accept him the way he is. There's no ego clash that I'm his mother and he's just 18, so I shouldn't be asking him. I don't do that. I feel very good that he's a very good teacher to me. He's very patient because he knows my level of slowness. You know, he's fast, and he matches up to that, and he is like, I can do this in 10 minutes. For you, I have to sit 30 minutes. I said, it's okay.
When I'm listening to you, I think it's also kudos to you that he's like this, because it's about the role modeling we are for our children. And that's another thing that we can do. It's not about saying the things, but being what we believe in, to showing what we believe in real action. And then they really see, and they also choose to be. So it's kudos to you as well, Mamina.
So I would like to say, like, my experience working with children has helped me accept more about the children, you know. And
Absolutely.
I know that if I am good at something, they are good at something. Everybody is good at something. I cannot say, like, oh, no one is good like me. That thing is not working. Everybody has their own expertise, and
Exactly.
as long as there's this learning environment in the family, I think that brings that friendship in the relationship.
Exactly. The friendship, the trust. And also, I think this is not what you're saying. So the children can have lots of friends, but they only have us as parents. So it's also to know that our roles are as parents, but from a place of being with them with respect for who they are. It's to listen to them and not really to be too tough on ourselves because we can make mistakes. We're all human beings. And even at that point, to demonstrate, to be able to apologize if we did something that didn't work out and, we were not happy about ourselves, to be aware of it and to be able to apologize as well in a respectful manner. uh, I think helps to raise kids who are also respectful and who can be patient, like your son. That's also love.
That is love, definitely that is love. And also I want to share, like, as you said, like apologizing, like if I'm doing something and he's hurt in the process, I'm always ready to apologize. It's not like I'm sitting as a mother and let him come to me, or I don't do that. If I'm wrong, I'm apologizing, and with due respect, because I understand what I did and I could not read your feeling at that point of time. So I apologize for that. Uh, and it's the same reciprocation from his side as well. So I love it, and he is responsible, and uh, I love being a mother to him, and I think I'm blessed. And it sometimes it hurts when I see him doing things independently, because he's grown up now. He would say, "No, thank you, I can do it. That's okay." So that sometimes hurts, but that is the process that he wants to be independent, and I have to see that, that
Exactly.
I have
So
to
we
see
are
that.
learning and
Yeah,
growing as
yeah,
parents.
absolutely.
When
So
my child first came out, he couldn't first identify who he was. So every time he came up with a thing, like homosexual, non-binary, this and that. Some of them I knew, some of them I didn't. And I was saying, bear with me, I don't know. And I was going on Google and learning and asking him. And it's so important to also have to to teach our kids and at the same time to learn from our kids.
yeah, I love that process. Absolutely. I love it. And that understanding has helped me become a better parent, not as a adult, but to have that friendship, like we can make fun of each other, we can respect each other, and we can trust each other, and we can love each other.
Exactly. Beautifully said, Mamina.
So I always believe in making things easy, like I believe that every relationship should have some element of friendship, so that there's this flexibility, like there's no wall in between, Oh, she's an adult, she's my mom, I can't talk like this or this and that. I don't like that. I would rather be a friend, forget about being a mom. Let's become friends so that we can talk and share and learn from each other. And it's okay if I don't know anything, you can totally make fun of me. So now that I'm working with autistic kids, uh, with them also I have the same kind of relationship. I play with them. We can laugh, laugh and learn, play, have fun, and be friends.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So it's so nice talking to you and learning about so many things. Like you said, how things in our everyday life and everyday practice can really make a big impact. Just by seeing the child as they are. It's we have eyes to see, but we are seeing with what eyes. That is important. The vision that we have behind our lenses, that is so important. And
Absolutely.
these are small changes that we can do at a individual level, and rest is up to the world.
Exactly.
So as you were sharing about child protection, child right, would you like to talk a little bit about that? Because I don't know how that really works, and just a little bit.
Okay, of course. Well, in terms of what I worked on in UNICEF for 23 years, I did work in quite a number of countries, working with the government officials to first look at the situation analysis to identify the legislation, to look at the practices, and work together to put in systems where the child is in the middle, and all the systems that protect the child, starting with the family, the schools, the recreation centers, the legislative environment, the larger environment, the society, are supportive to be able to have mechanisms in place for the child to grow up to their full potential, and at the same time for parents to learn not to use, for example, negative discipline, but use discipline in a positive way, for the school systems to be responsive, to allow the child to be themselves, to prevent bullying from happening, to prevent abuse from happening, because there are parts of the world, unfortunately, still children are beaten up at home or in the schools, or by different professionals, and to have mechanisms in place management in the case that we cannot prevent children from being abused, have mechanisms where they can be identified and referred to trained professionals who can really support the child. Also in terms of importance of family-based care, children not to be separated from their families, uh, but to support the family to take better care of their children. And if that is not possible, because as we all know, unfortunately, many of the times children are abused by those closest to them. It's not by a stranger, it's usually people who know the child. So if we cannot have this at home environment, then have the child someplace else, but that's like a family environment while you work with the family, um, so that they can take the child back and the perpetrator is actually receiving the punishment they should, and the child receives the help, and usually the mother who is also abused in most of the cases, to have mechanisms to be able to take back the child. Also, looking at the child justice mechanism, to have the justice mechanism established in a child friendly manner. So the child victim is not re traumatized by having to tell the story of what happened over and so to have child-friendly courts, to have judges who are trained, the police that are trained, prosecutors trained, social workers trained. So the child is protected and not re-traumatized. And in terms of the children who have committed a crime, have restorative justice systems, so the focus is not punishment, but to teach the child how to restore what they have done, so they learn from the experience and grow up to be more law-abiding individuals. So child protection covers quite a big area. These are some of the things that I mentioned. So these are the areas that I worked in mainly.
Beautiful. It was so nice to know that there is the system and there is the right system.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of it is having laws and legislation and systems in place. So to work from, let's say, from top to bottom with the legislation, and equally and at the same time, very important to work bottom up, to work with
Yeah,
strengthening the life skills and resiliency of young people, and to help with parent training and the
yeah,
parents to be able to have access to services and support if they need. Um, One of the things that we're seeing more and more in the world is mental health. There's a mental health crisis,
yeah,
especially there has been a big increase since COVID times. How to strengthen the resiliency of young
mm,
people, so they can actually be in a better place in terms of their mental health as well, which is a big issue. So that's why actually with my new new phase in life,
yeah,
I strongly believe that for parents to be having better space, to hold better space for their children, they need to face their own trauma.
that
They
is true.
need to come to terms with their own demons, so to speak.
Yes,
So they don't
absolutely.
reflect it to their children, especially when the children are very young, the parents are working, it's very hard, it's lots of work, especially pressure on the mother.
Yeah,
But also during adolescence, where this phase when the child is separating from the parents and learning to be independent and resisting the parents, how to be strong enough not to be affected and not to reflect our own worries, our own issues onto our children. So that's why I really truly believe we need to work as parents on ourselves, so actually we can be better parents for our children.
yeah. It works both ways. It works both ways, you know. And how beautifully you have said that as parents, we need to first understand where we are coming from and what is our limitation, and where should we stop? Where should we stop as parents? Uh, and how much how to know and be aware of what we are expressing, how much we are expressing uh, the negative emotions in front of our children or with our children. So that is the best basic learning that we can bring into practice, at least in the home setting.
I would even say it's not so much about how much we display these emotions, but how much we can stay with these emotions. Because many times we're so afraid to show genuine sadness, genuine anger, genuine happiness, that we also don't allow our kids to feel their emotions because we are so afraid to feel them ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think being able to stay with our own emotions is a big learning experience for our children in an
That's
authentic way.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. uh, the question comes here is like, uh, does the authenticity get carried away?
Can you explain?
It's like um when it gets out of control.
Can authenticity get out of control?
No, when we are in a state of emotion
Hmm.
and we are aware of that emotion, but then we get carried away and then we just go on and on and on without even knowing about our surrounding and our environment and that kind of thing I'm saying, like which again turns out to be an abuse.
Exactly. That's why I said to be able to stay with our emotions from a place of our adult self. To say, okay, I'm very angry. And what happened? Why am I angry? What triggered me? And not to act on it, because to identify and understand the emotion, you actually you can see that you can stay with the emotion without acting on it from a place of maybe the short circuit of not staying with our adult self. Because a lot of the times when we react to something, when we become angry or sad, or really when we're triggered, it's coming from our childhood memories of ourselves.
Yes.
So, to the extent we can work on ourselves, we will not really get carried away with the emotion. So, I
Yeah.
think we're saying the same thing. It's not about, yes, I'm angry and I will just show my anger and I'm gonna shout and, break things. No, the adult self is aware of the
Yeah.
emotion. I'm angry. What makes me angry? And really explain it from that place
Yeah.
to be a good role model.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, which is again, I understand is like I'm angry, but I'm angry as a responsible adult. I'm not going to repeat my patterns. I see them coming. I see them coming, and let me stop here and just
Exactly.
and just
Exactly.
process. Like this process. So the awareness of not repeating the same patterns, but still staying with the anger and being authentic with the anger and I think that is a good place where we start to change our relationship with anger and uh, just see the anger and not act it out and
Because anger in principle is very healthy because it shows our limitations. Like it shows
yes,
our not limitations, our boundaries to other people.
yes,
We're angry because of something, and if we can do it in a healthy way, we set up our boundaries to say, this is crossing my line.
line. That's right.
But many times it goes blown away if we go into our short circuit and
Yeah,
go in a fight mode.
yeah, that's
Right?
right.
Why do we fight? Can we do it in a different way? Why do I see it as a threat
Yeah,
to myself? Is it really a threat? Most of the time, it's not. Or maybe it is, but we can set our boundaries with, being aware of the situation.
yes, that's right. That's where our compassion comes in. That's where our compassion comes in, and at least we are in a state of choosing a better way of behaving.
Exactly. Exactly.
So we can get angry, but how
Exactly.
how we are getting angry, that is important.
To understand why we're getting angry as well, which will help develop the how.
That's true. That's very true. um, Beautiful. We talked about so many things, and um, I don't know what to say.
Well, thank you
um,
so much for having invited me to your podcast. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I
And
think it's so meaningful to talk about love and Valentine's Day with a topic of children who are transgender, who are homosexual, who are LGBTI, who are queer, um, and to talk about how love can be in a family.
yeah.
So, and we touched upon so many things. Thank you.
I must thank you for uh, being with us and sharing your experience and your views and vision and your awareness and consciousness of how the right vision can help us all accept and love each other the way we are. Uh, this is such a big statement, and it just goes on with our life until we are a part of this body. This stays with us, and hope we can stay with this thought and just reflect it in our life and love people as they are.
Thanks, Mamina.
Same here. I'll have to listen to this podcast after. I don't know what I was talking, but I would like to listen both of us uh, in a very calm environment where I can learn more. And it was a very uh, what do you say? It was both our heart and mind. So knowledge is important, and emotions are also. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mamina.
Thank you, Seema. Thank you. It was. Thank you for spending our yeah, yeah, your time with us for this special occasion and helping us celebrate love in a universal way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Take care. See you.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.